of the company, which is not just employees, but is also consultants. In that aspect, we have a launch now that I'm pretty excited about because we're developing something together. The report, well, the multiple feedback that I've received over this week and last week have been extremely helpful because it actually helps us keeping the pulse of what is happening in your daily business to see what is important and to start prioritizing based on the feedback that we receive, the volume of inquiries. So with this said, this week is going to be different. I know that last week I went over a list of tickets of things that have worked, things that have been fixed. I gave some working examples. This week has been a lot busier in the back where you don't necessarily see something happening right away because we need to make those pieces cut correctly, make sure that they start meshing together, and then we can start releasing something. So it's not necessarily immediately something that's visible, that is transferable to a live environment. So we're just in that period of time where we fixed all the critical issues. And for that, thank you for everyone that gave us support. So I'll still give you a quick update on those critical updates. But I wanted to insist a bit more on the fact that the feedbacks that we have received has been extremely helpful to help strategize what needs to be on the workbench now, what is going to be part of phase 2, what is my Nikken going to become with us, with all of us present here. So let's start from a high level perspective, some things that we had mentioned last week. We talked a lot about the personal websites, the replicated websites, your P2Ps last week. We have made progress. Some of them were turned live in the few hours just before this call. The first one that I consider particularly important is when a new consultant is signed up, their replicated website needs to be active right away. This is as of sometime today. This is now in place. So when a new consultant signs up, they are issued their ID number, the password that they selected. The replicated website will work within a matter of a few minutes. Similarly, we had talked about that last week, and it's something that I want to keep bringing up because it is important. Many of you have kept your ID number as the alias for your website. I really strongly encourage you to change from your ID number to a unique identifier, and that serves multiple purposes. The first one is, it's a lot easier to remember that my name is frank.mynikken.com rather than a bunch of numbers that you would expect somebody to remember. And it's actually a little bit more personal to know me by Frank than to know me by an ID number. The second is that by changing from an ID number to a name, it gives you the full functionality of integration with social medias when you want to go into the shopping cart and share those in social media. So with that said, we needed to make a change because if you changed from your ID number to a name, there was a delay for that thing to change, to take effect. That's something that we fixed this week too. So if you change your name on your replicated website, on your PWP, either from an ID number to a name or from a specific name to another name, that should take effect within minutes also. Okay. We are continuing to work, something we had talked about last week. We know that you have an identifier, which is your name that you selected to show at the top left of your PWP, the contact information that you have opted to show. We are continuing to work on making that available on all pages. So as somebody comes on your replicated website, they will see your name on any page that they are on up to checkout. So that will be the same also with personal links that you would share with customers, be it a product landing page or your cart checkout. So there's progress. It's not ready to be pushed to live, but there's progress with this. So we are making a bit of a change on the retail shopping cart, we're going to add some missing categories, especially when we have promotions, as we do for March. We are adding that specific link directly on the main landing page that will give an option to go to the special offer. So our marketing team has been really busy populating all the Nikken events in the preview, and it's a project that they are still working on to finalize. So we are expecting to have all the Nikken events published on the public calendars that you can see once you log into My Nikken. So if you log into My Nikken, you go to the bottom of the page. There's a calendar there. This will be populated next week. We have identified and fixed a bug actually that prevented a customer from creating an auto ship at the time of sign up as a customer. And that was a random bug that was not happening all the time, but sometimes it would just block them from creating until they log out, log back in. This has been addressed. So as you sign up a customer, they come in, they can create their wellness subscription right away. We are continuing to work on the messaging system. The messaging system has had some system errors connecting to the server to populate the messaging interface. So this has been identified and it's now in the works. So if you were to encounter one of those bugs that says a server cannot be connected, we are aware of that one and we are working on that fix. So we are asking you to make sure that you log out and log back in if you get a message that says error connecting on server when you try to run a report. So, okay. We're continuing to work on all the email notifications that you should be receiving when when a wellness subscription is about to generate. So 2 days before, we're going to populate those email notifications. We are enabling the email notifications to upline when a customer places an order, and we're going to keep adding all of those services back. One of the next big projects is to make sure that this interface, this back office, is completely responsive on mobile phones. We have identified, with your help, several instances where the interface is not up to par to what we would expect that to be. So that's something that has been pushed to develop, to design and to correct. Another bug that came up very recently was updating your profile picture. There was clarification added to that interface, which then caused some interface issues. That has been corrected too. So you should be able to go back into your office, change your profile picture, follow the guidelines with picture size and picture format. We have had some random reports, so that made it a bit harder, of some account inquiries that were not loading for specific users. So it was not a widespread issue on this one. It is something that is being fixed because we have identified some of those issues, so it is being fixed. It's going to be loaded for those who were not able to see it. Okay, so this is the high-level feedback for this week. I said I was going to be a lot faster because it's high level. There is a lot more that's happening in the back that we need to work on before I can start sharing more with you on what the progress is. Okay. So what we can do is we can probably take the next 20 minutes to take questions.
Yes, just raise your hand so we can unmute. Perfect. Gary Liner. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Oh,
Gary, we cannot hear you.
Go ahead, Gary. Gary. Can we hear you?
No, there's no sound coming from Gary.
Try that.
Okay, that works.
I took off my headphones. I noticed when I change the view or change the columns or anything in my genealogy, and I try to go back and pull it up originally the way I have it set up through my different columns and filters, I have to log out and then log back in.
Yes, that's part of those things that we're aware of. The page being responsive sometimes actually doesn't reload properly the interface, and is going to cause those issues. It's something that we're looking at. What happens usually is that when we make a page responsive, we try to make the page work to every possible resolution there is out there. And sometimes we try to overdo it and cause those situations.
Thanks. I just want to make you aware of that. So.
Thank you, Gary.
You bet.
Thank you. Ruth.
Yes, thank you, Frank. Thank you, Luis. So I just want to clarify. I just want to confirm. When I go into like the waterfall on my PWP, you scroll over to the bottom and it says video and images. You click on there and nothing pops up. Is that going to be populated? Is that on your list? So that, because we used to have these videos that we can tell them to go to.
Absolutely. So yes and yes. Yes, emphatically that it needs to be populated. We need to have, and we're creating actually product profiles. There will be videos, so that's
maybe Norbert's on.
That's going to be something
Gary,
that we're going to populate.
I haven't seen Norbert in forever.
Gary, you need to mute yourself. Okay, so.
There will be videos. So those are just the starters, but that's content that will be the rest of the effort from marketing to give information on all products. So
do you know the time frame for that? The images? I need the videos is what I need. Do you have any idea? Are we talking not in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month? Just so we have an idea?
I don't want to give a time yet because this one is something that's still within a different department. I need to talk to them to get a better idea.
Okay.
It's in the works, so I don't know if there's a priority. I don't know exactly which one they have ready that to push. So I'll check with them.
So I would highly recommend to at least do the water product line since we have the special going on for the month of March at a minimum. That would really help us. My second question is, what I'm noticing now is that if I go into, for instance, an auto ship for a customer and they have 2 or 3 because, you know, we have grandparents that don't have emails, we have a sibling that they run through the money, you know, to the one sibling. Anyway, we used to have on our auto ships, you can see the name, Mary Smith, John Smith, Kathy Smith, and now it's gone. So is there any way that things that we used to have, at least at a minimum, to have in the new system that we have, it's been functional for us, and now to take it away has been a little bit painful.
Yes, that's actually something we have in the works to bring back. The request is already there to bring back the name on those. So.
Okay, thank you. And then my next one is detail for genealogy. There's no way we used to be able to click on our downlines details. So like I do 3-way calls and they had an order, but I can't tell if they ordered what I told them to order. It doesn't allow me to manage my business very well that way because I'm doing the work with my downline and supporting them, and I can't see what they've ordered. And that is frustrating because I don't, then if they didn't order everything, I could at least follow up and say, well, what about this and what about that? I just feel like right now we're have less information, and that's, I want to know if that's coming down the line also. So when I click on my downline's ID, I like to see what the orders were.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. This is also something that is in the works. That's in development right now.
Okay. And then my last one, I'm sorry, is wellness subscriptions. I went to change the frequency and the frequency, how do I say it? So it doesn't show on the very summary page because that red or blue, I know that that's being worked on, so that's not correct right now. And so in order for me to make sure that the frequency took, I would make the change, come out of it, and then go back into it to make sure it took, right? So for instance, I changed a wellness subscription from a monthly to a bi-monthly, and I saved it, and then I came out of it, and I saw the summary page, and then I went back into it, and it showed bi-monthly. However, it shipped out on a monthly, and they don't know why. I mean, you guys, when I called distributor services, they were able to track all my changes, and they don't. So I want to make sure that that gets addressed, because how can we have assurance that when we change a wellness subscription, whether it's the amount or frequent, that it will be legit, like it will take. I guess that's my bigger concern.
Okay. I need to look into this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was this week. I already called and they know, but I just am concerned if I'm changing things and I go back and confirm it after I save it, it should take. So I just want to bring that to table. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Ruth. We'll move to the next Bob and Sue Gruber.
Hi. Frank, you're probably sick of hearing from me.
No, I'm not.
I sort of along the same lines with Ruth. I have yet to see a customer order history. I have been the last 2 days, I've talked to Mika and to Mary, and both of them have walked me through exactly what to do to pull up a customer's individual order history. And, because of my feedback and my follow-up system that I have, I need to be able to see the order history, okay? Because I do follow up with customers about filter order replacements and supplement replacements and those kind of things. And I do not pull up any customer order histories. And I know I've been showed 2 different ways to do it. And actually, when Mika did it with me, we spent about 45 minutes yesterday. And then today was with Mary. We spent we spent at least a half an hour. And following their step-by-step, they would see the screen that brought up these customer orders, and my screen showed their ID number and that they were a customer, and it gave me a message bubble. And that was it. I saw no orders. So I'm almost afraid that it's something on my end. I have a brand new computer. I've used Chrome and Firefox or Foxfire, whatever it is. And it doesn't matter what browser I'm using, I do not get the customer order history. And is there going to be a resolution? I mean, I feel like it's me, because when I talk to the girls, they see it. They see everybody's order history, but I do not get that.
So, Sue, I think we probably need to spend a bit more time to see if there's something happening on your computer. There might be simply a pop-up blocker that prevents those reports from running. So let's schedule some time off separately for that. But for everyone, I have a suggestion, though. It's to also look at the item, the report that's called it's items sold by customers, where you can actually look a specific item, look who the customer were that purchased that specific item with the date that this order was placed.
But even if I don't know what the dates are, because what I'm trying to do is I have a reminder system that, I put a stamp on it and a postcard, and I always check back to make sure I didn't miss them placing an order. So it's a process of just being sure they didn't really already order their filters before I send them something.
So that report will give you also the timestamp of all those purchases.
So do I have to put in the product that I'm looking for?
Correct. And actually, I sent you an email a few hours ago.
I know. I saw it, but.
So yes, you put the item code in it, and the entire time frame that you want to do that search for, and it will return all the purchases done specifically for that item by your entire customer base.
Oh, okay. So then it'll bring up everybody that's purchased within that time. And okay.
Exactly.
Because, you send somebody, they should renew in September and they don't renew until December. But, now it's March, so they don't need the referral, the reminder for, you know what I mean? So Okay, so that's that. At this point, it's but I would really love to see, because I believe it's on my end, because your girls see, they
Yeah.
see the orders and I don't. So if
So I'll
there's
reach out
someone,
to you separately, Sue, and we'll do a share screen to see what's happening,
okay,
how we
I
can
would
work on
love
that.
that. I would love that, because I really need to figure out how to see the order histories.
Okay, I'll reach out to you separately afterwards then.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Sue.
Yeah.
Next is Norbert.
Norbert, yes.
Hi, and thank you everyone for taking my question. I wanted to say also hi to Gary and to Ruth, old acquaintances. I had a question about the PWP. Obviously, that has changed because my old one that I had captured into a QR code. Now, if I read the QR code in, it takes me nowhere. It just goes into somewhere nowhere land and ends there. So my question is now, and I try to set the new PWP up, and I obviously don't know how to do it because I wasn't able to successfully do so. Are there any guidelines or any kind of assistance in writing somewhere, or do I need to just call in and have someone walk me through?
Norbert, I'd like to contact you myself, because what we've done is that the old PWPs are going to be functional with the old addressing we had for the next 12 months. So if your QR code refers to the old format, the QR code should continue working. What, however, happens is that when it pulls your old PWP, it's going to reformat the web address in the HTML link to the new format. So, but all of that should be automatic. Would you please send me your QR code?
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. If you let me know what your email address is.
I'll type. Would you send it to contact@nikken.com?
Okay.
And include your ID number so that it can be forwarded to me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you too.
Thank you, Norbert.
Next question is Dave.
Dave Rolfe. Please, Dave, come.
Hi, hi, Frank. Hi, Luis. Thank you. I have a few questions. I'm having a hard time finding the button to push to spit out $100 bills.
We're still working on this one.
Huh?
We're working on this one. We just don't know how to make that happen yet.
Oh, okay. Good. You're still working on it. Okay, that's what
Absolutely.
I want. Okay.
I'll taste it personally.
I couldn't help that. I just watched the Reacher movies on I don't know what network, and they were making these fake $100 bills, and I was thinking, oh my God, we need to have that button. Anyway, couple of things on orders that are made. There used to be the email notification that your customer, I'm sure you guys have got that working, right?
That's one of those things that we're working on, making sure that all those emails are generated.
Okay. In the enroll section, when you push enroll, you have two choices. One is consultant and one is a customer. And then when I was playing around to create some videos and do that, it seemed that both of those forms are identical. So in other words, it's similar information when you're trying to type in the information for a customer, is there a partner and all that sort of stuff. Is there any way to put just customer application, consultant application at the top of each one of those pages? Yeah,
we can add a header.
So. I think it would make sure people are, because I thought, am I on the right page here? This looks like a question for a consultant, not a customer. Okay, that's good there. Then the next question I have is on the genealogy. Under the organization section, it looks like the default is 10 levels, and every time I only want to see one, so I do one and update it, and I save it, and then I go back in or out. Anytime I come back to it, it always defaults to 10.
It's not saving your preference of one.
Yeah, it's not saving the preference. So, I've sent in some
requests and ideas for future, but those, that's what I've run into of late. So
Okay, thank you, Dave. Yeah, we actually were looking into that saving preferences in detailed genealogy. We had some of that feedback. It's one of those we started working on actually to give examples to developers. So thank you for bringing that up. I can tell them the depth preference. And actually, we're working a little bit more on that. So if you look on the depth preference, one of them is a dropdown, one of them is free text, which we're fixing that too.
okay, great. Awesome.
Thank you,
It's a
Dave.
lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. So keep up the nice work. Thank you very, very much.
Much appreciated.
Good night. Norma, please.
Okay. All right. It wouldn't let me unmute a while ago. I have a couple of questions that overlap with some of that have been asked already. So I appreciate those. So I'm not the only one that's sitting out there. But I understood, I've been away from my computer for several weeks between my health and other issues, but that's separate. But I was told that Dave had a part 1 and part 2. I don't know if that's still available because I can't even log on to my site. It won't allow me to even get the basics in there in order to change it. And I tried calling in and they tell me they'll call me back and it does not, they don't call me back. And I know they're busy. I know there's a big lineup, just like I think Sue made a comment. If she's on the line 30, 45 minutes on one problem, every one of us don't have that much time to sit there and wait, for that one question to be answered. So I know that's a problem there too. The other one is, I'm not even sure how to empty all my history out. And that was one of the steps. It said that we had to empty all the history out, maybe to restart all over again. And I'm not computer savvy enough to get that one done. And one of the things I believe Sue and I think Norbert and also Ruth made a comment. I had a customer a couple of weeks ago that she put her own order in. I never got notified that it was put in or if I got credited for it. And since I can't get on my website, I can't troubleshoot it to see if it's on my site that my points are there or did it go to somebody else? Hopefully that's clarified.
Okay, thank you, Norma. So the first thing is that you don't have to wait on hold. If you call the call center, there's an option that allows you to have the call center call you back after the normal wait time would have passed. So I would invite you to select that option, but I don't want you to call the call center now to just go through it. I'm going to have somebody call you to go through those issues and address them with you. There shouldn't be no reason why you cannot log into the system. Everything should be working. So let's see if we can have somebody call you as soon as possible. And we'll address all of that. So.
Tonight or tomorrow or Monday, or when are you talking?
We'll have somebody call you back tonight.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Norma.
Thank you, Norma. Susan, please come.
Hello, thank you.
Hi, Susan.
Hello. I want to report good news. I am able to see the tool function on my page on the back office. It's the first time tonight. So progress is being made. I want to say thanks. I know it's been something that I haven't been able to see since the start of it. A couple quick questions. One is the messaging system. I know that during your first call, you talked about that it's designed to be an internal process rather than email. And I know that we still get emails when we have orders and such. But is that on the list to allow emails to go through for those people that are not blocking emails? Because I think that that's something that's really, like Ruth mentioned earlier, things that we could do that now we can't do. Emailing people, I feel, is something that I would like to continue to do. And if I have to, I'll go through my list and gather all the emails and create a distribution list. But I don't think we should have to do that. It would be wonderful if we could continue to email people as an option if we want to.
So Susan, if you remember, we talked a little bit about that. Actually, the way that the messaging system works is that you get an email notification that you have your message in your back office and to go visit that back office. But there's an email generated to let you know there's a notification waiting for you.
Okay, I did not know that. Thank you for reminding me of that. Okay.
And
So
we're actually working a little bit on this one. That was the first half of the presentation. I think you logged in right after that.
Okay.
We're working on a few kinks inside that messaging system that don't always generate, but it is being addressed as we speak. Yeah.
So based on that, you noticed I was a little late to last week's meeting. Are the recordings available for last week's and the prior weeks so that I can listen to the recordings, Frank?
Those are not going to be available. We're working instead on tutorials, but not so much recordings of those one-on-one.
Okay. Well, another quick thing is when you go to a PWP, and fortunately, you're the great team at in our customer services, they were able to get my PWP working this week. So that was wonderful. When someone logs into the PWPs, if they click on the products, nutrition and other items still are not showing there. And I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. And that's on the shorter list. I wasn't sure if that's what you meant when you started off with your list, Frank.
That's what I meant, yes. So.
Okay, wonderful. Something that Dave brought up, and I just want to bring, the report that you were referring to for Sue, the order by item report. I brought that up, and that has Spanish in there as well as English. Is that on the list, or should I do a screenshot and send that to you?
It's always good to send a screenshot if you don't see any change happening. Okay. I'm looking at it now and not seeing any Spanish.
I'll send you that. And then, to Dave's comment about the enroll, I used to have in my signature, click here for a customer portal to set up your own customer portal. And I can see the address up above to be able to do that for people. But it's interesting, when you click on enroll and you have the two options, either as a consultant or as a registered customer, the wording is different. It's kind of like this should be forward facing to customers, yet it's in our back office. Do you know what I mean?
I believe so.
Okay,
so,
we can take this
yes.
offline too if you'd like, but my thought is that I should be able to utilize this in my signature, and other people could as well if they want to have someone register as a customer or as a consultant. So maybe we can take that offline and I can just share with you my thoughts.
Okay. 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 Thank you,
I
Suzanne.
think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. Wes, please come.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Hi. Hey, listen, the customer reports, I like that I can click on the heading and it resorts the list, which is kind of nice. I like that. The challenge I run into is after a couple of sorts, I get a message that says, where'd it go? I had it here.
I actually know what you're talking about, Wes. So.
Unable to parse report data.
Yes.
Then I have to log out and log back in.
Absolutely. That's the one that we're actually working on, that we have identified, and that populates randomly when there's load on the server. This is one of those things that we're addressing as a crucial fix needed.
Okay. And then when I click on a name, I figured I'd get information about that person, but I'm not getting anything except for their ID number.
That's part of the report that we're working on.
Okay. Yeah, otherwise, it's great. I like it.
Thank you, Dave. Oh, Wes, I'm sorry. I'm looking at Dave.
Thank you, Wes. Sam Barnes, please.
Yes, we're all getting adjusted, and it's kind of fun to play around and see what we find and go, yay. But my thing is that email, when I was playing with it and my downline got, and I sent it to Frank, whoever, crazy lettering, they thought I'd been spammed and they didn't open it. When it goes through, is there somehow you can say to the distributor or the customer, you have an email waiting in your mind in, www.mynikken.com, something that made sense instead of things that didn't make sense and everybody was afraid that something happened. And then I get all these texts, you've been scammed, you've been, somebody's into your account.
Yes, that's on my very short list.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Actually, it just passed development. It's in test bench, and I'm making those changes to have that early next week.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I knew you all would probably be on it.
Thank you, Pam.
And Bob, please.
I'll mute. Okay. Yeah. Hi. Today, and this is the second time it's happened to me, when I have had a customer in the PWP, in our PWP, wanting to place an order when they went to the product they wanted, they added it to the cart, and then they clicked on view cart so that they could see what was in the cart. It actually showed a picture of another product, even though it was the correct product ID number, the number for the product and the correct price, it was the wrong picture. They wanted to buy a Kinko Touch, and the picture that came up was a Mag Boy or Mag Duo. So she wouldn't buy it. Okay, so she didn't buy it. And I told her that I would, I sent a screenshot because it came up in the wholesale shopping cart as a Mag Duo, even though it was the Kinko Touch. Everything was right for the Kinko Touch, but it was a picture of the Mag Duo. So she wouldn't buy it. That happened before a while ago. I don't know if it was 10 days ago or so, but the same scenario, they wouldn't buy it because it was the wrong picture.
Okay.
So
Thank you, Sue. Yes, that's something we need to look at. I have the marketing team also on the call to listen. They will address that to look at what pictures are loaded on the checkout specifically.
I forget. It seems to me they wanted to buy the previous one was they wanted to buy a Mag Flex and it came up as a comforter. And then today it was the Kinko Touch she wanted to buy and it came up as a Mag Duo. So in both cases they didn't. I don't believe I know the one today, she did not buy it. She said she would come back next week, because I said it's the weekend. I don't know if anything will be done, so she said she would look back next week. So I don't think I'll lose her. She registered as a customer, but she did not place her order because she was afraid that it would be a Mag Duo instead of the Kinko Touch. So it was the wrong picture. Okay. So thank you.
I see this one actually was just resolved from the feedback I'm getting, but it's good that you see that. Please continue sending those. If you come across something like that, please continue sending it. And I see we have a few comments too of some other users that experience that issue to send to us. So.
Oh, and one more thing. What was the deal? Oh, the toolbar. When we're on our phone or on an iPad, when we're trying to look at the screen, the full toolbar is not there. So we get, we don't get the tools, and the reason why I realized that today was I wanted to send my consultants the new tutorials that we have, and the toolbar, or on the toolbar, the tools was missing. on my iPhone and also on the iPad. So I don't, and there was no way, you know, no, if you have it in the portrait form, you know, of the screen, there was no toolbar. I mean, you don't see any of the toolbar. It just says Nikken with the you know, our emblem, but no toolbar. You know, you couldn't click on anything. And then when it turned it into landscape, you had create a link, view links, but you could not see tool. So like I could not from my phone actually send my consultants all, you know, I mean, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to send them the new videos, the new tutorials that we had. And
Okay.
I couldn't, I quote, so I, you know, that's a screen thing.
Okay,
And
that's part of the responsive website to make sure that the menus are kept no matter what the resolution is.
okay, okay,
But that's actually good feedback. We need to have that kind of example that we
Okay.
can add to those things.
good. So that's what I kind of saw today. So thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh,
Thank you.
yeah.
Mary Bowser, please.
Hi.
Hi, Mary.
Hi. Not quite as involved as what Sue's going through, but it was disturbing to get a communication from EVO, which I believe is what happens. You get a message that there's a message in your message center. So I went in to see the messages, and I read them. It's because I had a little 3, thanks to my wonderful upline sending me messages. But now that I've read them, how do I get rid of them? Because I've read them, and usually in some kind of system, there's a way to delete it or put it as red mail or something. I can't cancel them. The only thing I can do is share them, or
They would be in received messages, but they would not be in new messages. So
well,
you should have
it comes in.
3. You have 3 different categories: sent messages, regular messages, and new messages. They would have moved from the new messages to just the regular messages.
Okay. The problem is the little dialogue, you know, the little bubble that shows you have messages. It still shows me I have 3 new messages.
Oh, so it did not reset the counter? Okay.
It doesn't reset. It just keeps adding and adding.
Okay. I was not aware of this one. I will talk to the devs on this one. Reset
And
counters.
if it could default to new messages, that would be really good. So I don't, because it comes up automatically to the old messages.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you very much. Ruth, please.
Thank you, Luis. I appreciate it. So, Frank, I just wanted to go back. I'm logged in right now, and I went under reports, and I went under the Spanish is there. If you pull up on my page, I know you said you didn't have Spanish. I do have Spanish. Nombre del cliente, whatever.
Well, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. But then when I went to go the order by item report, PyMag waterfall, and I know I've sold PyMag waterfalls for the past year, and I update report, nothing comes up. So is that correct? Not to be working right now, or it's working on your end? It's not working on mine.
It works fine when I do my search. I can try with your account. So.
Okay, so that's the first thing I noticed. Also, when I'm in a customer report, so in the regular reports, I go to customer report, and I do the search button. Nothing, like I type in first name, last name, first name, nothing pops up. And if you have hundreds of customers, somebody called me and I couldn't find them, so I had to call them back. I logged in, I couldn't find them. So I just.
That's something I would like to maybe to work with you on a screen share. The system works. When we do a search by item code, by name, all of that comes up. I'd like to see how that's not happening on your computer. So maybe we can set up a separate call to look at that. So.
Sure, I'll reach out to you. Thank you. Those are my only 2 things that I'm not seeing properly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ruth. Karen, please.
There we go. Thank you, Luis. The website is wonderful. It's a great adventure, and I'm really enjoying it. It gives me a lot of fun during the day, which is great. But besides that, I do have two things. I know last week you were talking about the volume updates, and you were working on that. I noticed today that it still hasn't updated from this morning. Is that going to be addressed shortly? Because as some of the other consultants were saying, we have to keep track and make sure that our customers' orders are going out. And without that volume being updated, it's very difficult for us.
Yes, that's in the work. That's part of those things that we were working on this week. All of those updates are now automated. And we need to push those automation programs to live to make it happen. There should have been an update actually about 30 minutes ago. So it's going to reflect on your side after the program finishes running. You should see that in the next 30 minutes. So it should be in the next 15 minutes or so.
Okay, great. Thank you. The other question I have, you were talking about working on the reports, and I think Wes was referring to this. I send out snail mail to my customers periodically. Is there a way on the website, we used to have in our customer listing, we would be able to click on their number and we would get their snail mail address in our back office. Is there a place that we are able to do that or will be able to do that?
Yes, we're actually going to add address line 1 to the genealogy report.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Next question, Barb.
Hi, I just tried to register a customer while I'm on here, and I got to the point where it asked for the product. I go in to put the product in, and then I can't go any further. And then I go back and it's asking for more information. I don't know if it went through. I don't know. I never got to the payment.
Off the top of my head, once you enter the product itself, at the bottom, there should be a continue unless there's any of those fields that's highlighted in red.
For some reason, and I guess what I'm concerned about, I can go back and repeat everything, but yeah, it never let me do anything. I had the password, had everything in, did product, and then there was not, the payment was the only button I could do, and then it said error.
Okay. That's why it's something we need to look at directly on your computer.
Okay, thanks.
Oops. Okay, thank you, Barb. Sue, I think I've talked to you before, Sue. Your name looks familiar.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But this kind of goes along with what Ruth said. Okay, my search, today when I was looking, it all has to do with the patient history, order history. And I was trying to search customers. And Mary and I worked for quite a while today on, and everything I was trying to do, she could do, but I couldn't do. So just this is just an FYI, so you know that searching, I couldn't put in a customer's name in the search bar to bring up even all the customers with that name. Mary could do it. She got, I was trying to show her how I didn't see customer orders. And she would say, oh, no, all you have to do is put in the customer's name and, everybody with that, she would just put in part of her name and every Patricia in our customer base came up and she could see it, to click on that customer and then she would see their product order. So, or their order history. So like Ruth was saying, I cannot search for any customer in particular, just to look at one customer, and I don't see the orders. And then, it's also not time sensitive, like today we had a couple of nice orders and our PPV or our PGPV never changed. So, I don't know how much time do we need to give our, for our volume.
That's why I want to have the screen share with you, because all of that should work instantly. So I want to identify on what type of computer those reports don't generate or auto-populate the information like we see normally.
Okay, yeah. And what about this one?
Canada.
Oh, yeah. And the zip code, is the Canadian postal codes going through now?
Yes,
I know.
it is.
Oh, okay. Because I know that was an issue. We tried to sign somebody up and the postal code wouldn't go through. Okay, so that's working. Okay. All right. I think I'm done. I promise. Okay.
Talk to you in a few minutes.
When we talk, okay, Frank. I'm so sorry. Okay.
Sorry, Frank, I have one last request. It's actually from Robert. We'd like to have the capability of any type of reports that we have to be able to send it over to Excel versus copy and paste, because that just doesn't work really well. So, there was a time last year when you can click an export button to Excel. Is that something we're going to have?
It's not immediate. We need to look more into it before I can really tell you there. Because it's a different type of language, so I need to look first how that would convert into an exportable report.
Because right now we're trying to copy and paste and it doesn't work very well. And it comes over funny. Okay, so that is something we'd like to have possible.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah, especially for genealogy and things like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
This will be quick too. I was just going to the genealogy report based on Sue's comments. I know that I have in the past gone to that report and then just asked for customers instead of entire organization. I haven't touched the tree type, changing that from sponsor tree to enroller tree, because that's a little confusing for me. So I've just changed it to customers and updated the report. And now I've counted an issue. So it's very fragile. I can do it once, but then it didn't even just call out the customers or the consultants. And then I just tried to do a search and it wouldn't even let me search. So I'm thinking that the reports themselves are not quite, stable yet. Am I correct, Frank? They're still very in flux at this point.
Yes, that's what I was saying. When you get that information of server cannot be reached, to log out and log back in, but we're looking at that as being one of those crucial items to fix.
Okay, thank you. And I hope you are getting sleep. Thank you.
What is sleep?
There's a good sleep system out there that if you haven't been sleeping on it, I'm sure you know about it.
I'd like to hear more, yes. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Susan. Okay, very well. Thank you, everyone, for being in this call. I believe that this is a way to make things work better, faster. And thank you for your support and your feedbacks. We are being able to getting better and better. So I appreciate very much what you are all doing, and thank you for your patience and to the support. So anything else, Frank?
No, I can just reiterate what you say. Again, thank you for the feedback that you send by email. Please continue sending the feedback directly. And really, I think I would invite you now to send the feedback more directly to your feedback rather than to me, because I actually have a team now that's actually working on that feedback. And I don't find myself thinking, oh, shoot, I forgot to reply to that person. It's midnight. I should not be replying now. But it's going to address the feedback faster if it goes that way now. So I know I gave my email address. If it's extremely urgent, send it to me anyway. I will look into it. but to make sure that we reply in the proper fashion and within acceptable time, please send it to feedback also.
Oh, there is another question that came in the last minute, the Bonnie test. Bonnie?
Being told I can't do it. Oh, there it is.
Yes,
All
you
right.
can.
I've been sending feedback, but I wanted to add a screenshot. And in the feedback, I couldn't figure out how to do a screenshot. So then I was sending it to you directly so you could get the screenshot.
And I appreciate that's very helpful. Thank you, Bonnie. Would you send it to contact@nikken.com? Because then I know there's somebody that's going to look at that every minute of the day and pass it on fast to feedback.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed that in the chat. I'll send it to contact@nikken.com.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and we found where to print the bills. I see a bill right behind you. That's where we can print those.
Yeah.
There's the answer.
Okay, good, everyone. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend. And well, we are going to continue working in order to make this very, very successful business. So we are on that. So let's keep moving. Thank you. Oh, Barb, sorry.
I wanted to say, Frank, what I get after in enrolling the customer. Oops, I can't find it now. What I get is instead of hitting payment, it says personal information or select enrolling or whatever, enrollment option and personal information, and which I don't want to do more personal information. I want to pay. So it's not giving me the payment button.
Yes, definitely something we have to look at together to see where it's blocking.
Okay, I'll take a screenshot.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, well, good night, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Bonnie. I want those.
of the no of the no of the no of the no of the company no of the 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 company no of the 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 company no of the company no of the no of the no of the